Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fella that I picked up at the recent Heroes Faith Maze. And this is Wildbird. And of course, Wildbird is part of a new class of monster called the Forsaken. He's also a legendary, he's thunder, he has wings, he's a superhero, he's very into family, and is extremely exclusive. Unfortunately, he's too exclusive because he's only showed up with one open rune slot. That's way too exclusive for me. And there's little question that I'm going to be spending gems to open those up once he has been properly tested. We're going to find a quick home for him. Which of course is going to be there until he reaches his final destination. Okay, that was a rather impressive one right there. Good animation, good all around. Probably does a lot of damage. All right, let's find out where his name is. Sumanas! No. You know, it's actually really hard not to call him Bird Person. Unless I get a great idea from a viewer, he's probably going to be Bird Person. Alright, well, let's check him out here. This, of course, is Wildbird. He is part of the new Forsaken class. You can see he's standing on the symbol right there. It's shining underneath him. Alright, let's see. He is, of course, a legendary. He is Thunder. He has an evolving trait. First of all, he's got one Wildbird one. What is this? Oh, it means he's exclusive. Right, he's exclusive, which means you cannot own two of him. You cannot trade his cells. You cannot rank him up with, like, Elementium or, in this case, Thunder cells. You have to actually have his cells in order to rank him up. Alright, but let's look at the rest of his trait, of course. At rank 0, he starts being hardened. If you rank him up to rank number 1, he is still hardened, but he also gets a status cast for Pierce, which means, of course, if you look through there, he can go right through mirrors, taunts, and area dodge. He can just go right through that, all of that stuff. And that's just a status cast. He starts with that. All right, if you get him to rank 3, he adds immunity to stun for his entire party there, area stun. And of course, you get him to rank 5, he adds blocking positive status effects removal, which means if he gets a buff, it can't be removed from remove positive status effects. Alright, so let's take a look at his initial skills. Alright, let's start with the beacon was activated. Deals low physical damage to one enemy, and who's in danger? Deals moderate thunder damage to one enemy. That's a lot of moderate thunder damage for an initial skill. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen the bar that far over. Very interesting. And of course, that very animated special skill, I am Phoenix Person. It's all Tammy's fault. Deals very heavy metal damage to all enemies, applies nanovirus and stun to all enemies, and he's doing metal damage. I do understand the reference, but that's a little on the weird side considering he's Thunder. Just a little bit on the weird side. Wildbird was the protector of a garden of golden apples with very valuable golden seeds used to fuel a portal between dimensions. The Lord of the portal had chosen him because of his loyalty, but one day Wildbird broke that loyalty. He was tricked by his love for Zenobia, who stole the garden, leaving Wildbird lonely and jobless. Now he has to start a new life. Okay, well, yeah, don't be tricked, because you never know what can happen there, right? Alright, so he has some amazing skills. So let's just go and get him up to his final form, of course. There he is. Let's face it, he is Bird Person. Alright, so let's go to level 7. Grass tastes bad. Deals moderate thunder damage to one enemy. Deals moderate thunder damage to all enemies. Okay, so he's going to hit one individual hard, mildly hard, and then hit everybody else. So that's a whole lot of thunder damage. Let's continue to level 10. Somersault jump. Deals heavy thunder damage to one enemy, applies shock to one enemy. Well, that's a pretty good one right there. They get better. All right, so let's continue to level 15. And another skill. You're outnumbered. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies sunburn to one enemy. All right, so it's pretty much identical to the last one. It just uses a different torture effect. So we'll just put that there. All right, let's continue to level 20. The Flesh Curtains, okay? Deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies shock and sunburn to one enemy. All right, well, that's like the best of all the worlds right there. And it is special damage, so obviously that's an upgrade. All right, so let's continue to level 25 for some more skills. Get Swifty. Applies thunder weakness to all enemies, gives one extra turn to itself, applies pierce to itself. Well, very clearly we're keeping that one, right? I'm going to throw it back here because I'm pretty sure we have better than that coming. Yeah, that's one we're obviously keeping. Yeah, very obviously keeping. He gets pierced for 3 turns, and they get nature weakness for... Yeah, that's definitely staying. All right, so let's continue to level 30. Show me what you got. Applies damage boost, damage mirror, and precision to itself. Ooh, I don't know about that one. All right, I'm going to put it in the front here and just leave it there for now. I doubt that I'm keeping that one, but you never know. All right, let's go to level 35 for another skill. Time for action. Deals moderate thunder damage to all enemies, applies shock to all enemies. That's going to work very good with Get Swifty, isn't it? Well, you know, do I need this one anymore? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's pretty low damage in comparison to everything else. So I think that I'm going to take that one out for this one because, yeah, that'll do a lot of damage. Once they're weak and then he gets pierced, yeah, that's going to be kind of ugly right there. All right, so let's go. We should have 2 more left. And level 40. Gubba Nub Nub Do Ra Ka. Alrighty. Applies evasion to itself, increases its maximum stamina, gives 100% of stamina to itself. Alright, so the evasion is for 1 turn. So in other words, he's going to... This is a situation where he doesn't have any stamina, right? Because this doesn't require stamina. So what he's going to do is he's going to give himself evasion, and he's going to increase his maximum amount of stamina, and then he's going to give himself 100% stamina. That's a good question right there. All right, for the moment, I'm going to throw it there because if I was going to choose something, I would choose that. I don't know if I'm keeping it, though. We're going to have to see because there is one more skill left for now, right? And that is at level 45? No, we saw that one already. So let's continue to level 50. Against the Council. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Applies sunburn to all enemies. Alright. That's a very good question. Well, this is special damage, so it doesn't benefit from him getting Swifty, right? Obviously, I'm keeping that. They do the same damage. This is kind of like the initial skills he had, where one of them did sunburn and one of them did shock. I don't know. I mean, do I want to just concentrate on damage? I mean, I can't go... I have to take the... I have to have this kind of a thing here, right? Because what if I run into somebody... That's true. I mean, if he can just give himself pierce, then that means that he doesn't really have to worry about dealing with somebody who dodges group attacks, does he? I mean, this one here is pretty specialized here. I don't know about that. I mean, basically he gets a stamina back and takes a round off, you know? Do I want damage instead? All right, let's look at the skills. Obviously, I'd probably start with this one. That way I'm giving thunder weakness to the other side and giving pierce to himself, right? This is a good follow-up to that. Because he's just going to do, you know, they're weak to thunder damage unless they resisted it, right? So then they're going to get this and the shock. This one over here isn't a bad one to have. I think for now, I'm going to put in against the council for this one. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to have to think about it. I mean, I want him doing damage. That's what I want. I want him doing damage. All right, let's check out his stats. Okay, I mean, I didn't look at his stats the first time, but I'm looking at them now, right? Oh, no, I'm not, because I haven't finished leveling him up. I was thinking, they seem a little bit low. Yeah, that's because I'm not done leveling him. So let's get him up to 60. I pretty much have everything. All right, no. Let's continue. Another thing is I want to take a quick look at his skills, too. But since we're on the stats, why don't we look at the stats? Level 60. Okay, so that's a really good strength he's got there. 2373, that's a really good strength. His life is over 14,000, which is really very good. His speed is 2233. You could do denial with that kind of speed if you wanted to, but of course, he doesn't really do denial. He just does a whole bunch of damage. And that's probably what you would focus on. All right, I just want to take a quick look at his skills. Now, I don't think I missed anything, but I do want to go down a bit because he's got a whole bunch of stuff hiding down here, doesn't he? Yes, he does. All right, so at 105, he gets you appear to be dying, removes all negative status effects from itself, applies pierce to itself, deals insane damage. Wow, that's going to be all his stamina. I mean, that's an enormous amount of stamina right there. He would have to use that other skill that would increase his maximum amount of stamina. Notice it has a 0 cooldown. Interesting. Yeah, he would have to have that other one to use it. A Bag of Squanch. Deals very heavy thunder damage to one enemy, applies a Mega Stun. This is a Mega Stun then. All right, that's pretty good. Mega Stun is always very good. 2 rounds out. Yep. Tammy's Betrayal is all Tammy's fault. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself, applies evasion to itself, and guard down to enemies. All right, he gets 1 round of evasion after that. So he's going to hit somebody, give them guard down, and be evading until he gives himself an extra turn and then he evades. So how does that even work then? Because he's evading, but as soon as he acts after the extra turn, he's going to lose the evasion. That's very strange. I mean, Wormlad has a similar skill, but the evasion is for 2 turns. So that he gets the extra turn, he attacks, and then he ends his turn evading. But it's only a 1 round evasion. That's very strange right there. All right, well, let's look at the last one. Wubba-lubba-dub-dub! Deals heavy special damage to all enemies, applies shock and sunburn. That would really hurt. Now, if that had been thunder, that would have been devastating. But that's a very good skill. And I can't see myself at the moment changing anything out for what I have, so I'm just going to keep what I have for now. All right, now if I did get that first one, it would literally mandate having that one with the stamina. But since I don't have that one, we're just going to stick with what we have. All right, let's take a look at the skills. I know it's a little bit all over the place, but I kind of got out of order there. Let's start with this. Against the Council. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies sunburn to all enemies. Okay, so this is like a high, moderate, a group attack, and of course it's going to give them sunburn, which is a good torture effect. It has a 2 round cooldown as well, which is very good, so you can get to it quickly. All right, let's go with this one. The Flesh Curtains. Deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies shock and sunburn to one enemy. All right, so he's going to hit one individual really hard with special damage, and it's going to give both of the torture effects of shock and sunburn. Now, this is interesting. This is a good, solid, single target hit, but the question is he going to need it? Normally, I say, yeah, you do need this because what about individuals who dodge group attacks? He might have a solution for that, though. Let's move on. Time for action. Deals moderate thunder damage to all enemies, applies shock to all enemies. All right, identical damage to the against the council, but this, of course, is thunder damage, and it gives shock instead of sunburn. Now, this is very useful because of the next skill. Get Swifty! Applies thunder weakness to all enemies, gives extra turn to itself, applies pierce to itself. So it's going to have pierce for 3 rounds. So that means that he's going to be able to go through any kind of a defense. Even with a group attack, he could probably hit a single target, which sounds kind of interesting. Is that going to go through taunt as well? Interesting. I'm not really sure about that, but I can't wait to test it, even though that's going to be really very hard to test in the adventure map. Probably have to wait until I have him all juiced up and take him into PvP encounters, right? Anyway, you do this one, you come back with this one, and that's going to do a lot of damage. And he's probably still going to have the Pierce going, unless the Pierce vanishes after you do an attack. I'm not really sure the way it works in this case. Normally, Pierce only lasts for one attack, but it does say 3 turns. So, I mean, is it going to be there until you attack? I don't know. This is the first individual that I have that has Pierce, so I'm not quite sure how that works. But anyway, he can do a lot of damage that way. You'd have to lead with this one. You lead with this one, and then you probably come back with this one if you're doing the group attack thing, right? Because they're going to take a lot of thunder damage then, right? If they got the weakness on, they're going to take double damage. And he's already doing a lot of damage, especially considering his strength. And speaking of strength, I'm tempted to just put strength across the board on him, you know, because he's going to do a lot of damage. I mean, what, I want to do 2 and then a support speed? I don't know. With that strength, I would want him to be devastating, you know? And that's kind of what he would be. I mean, he's already got a great speed. There's no reason to enhance that. Do you want his whole team going faster? I guess that's a judgment call. Me, I'm actually starting to think of all strength for this guy because I do want him to be devastating. If he's got all strength and he does this and follows up with this, he just might kill the entire other group. Maybe. You never know. Anyway, this is Wildbird, first of the Forsaken, and he is really good. Really, really good. And he is definitely going to be part of the next testing video. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.